Listen to a story about a man named Jed. Poor mountain man barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up from the ground came a bobblehead crude. Oil, that is.
Black gold.
Texas tea.
Oh.
Man, I loved Barnaby Jones.
Who loves ya, baby?
Very good.
Oh, 2 minutes. Thank you, too. Thank you, Ringo.
Thank you, Toast. Thank
Yes,
you.
toast is good.
Yes.
Hey, new shirt, Steve? Oh, it's nice. Is that a 17 neck?
No, it's a 16 and a half. How about you? Is that chiffon? What are you supposed to be, Mother Nature?
Close. Sister Spring.
Oh, in celebration of the first day of spring and all that.
Yeah, and all that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Sister Sledge. I've heard of Sister Soldier. I've even heard of Twisted Sister. But I don't think I ever recall hearing of a Sister Spring.
Well, there's a lot of things you don't recall since the hang glider accident, Steve.
Oh, that's true.
Well, Sister Spring, Sylvia, as it were, is one of 4 daughters of Mother Nature, the 4 seasons. She's the youngest daughter. It's a lot more popular in other countries, though. For instance, in Spain, she is Hermana Primavera. And Sister Spring in Germany is Schwester Frühling. And, of course, Sister Früh in Switzerland.
Of course. Wow, I learn something new every day.
Imagine you do, Steve. I imagine you do.
Oh, yes.
No, it's really tasty butter.
That's not butter.
It's not?
That's margarine. Tastes so good it fools even you, Sister Spring.
Not nice to fool Sister Spring. Steve, are you wearing cologne?
I am. Stetson. I wanted to feel like a cowboy today.
It's working.
Oh.
I guess that explains the leather chaps.
Yes, thanks for noticing.
Do they have to be assless? Hello, and welcome to this week's Chamber of Comedy special First Day of Spring Week in Review Update Special. I'm Dave Hanreich.
And I'm Steve Burnett. And this week's update is brought to you by Maine Repertory Theater and Nelson and Nellie's overly friendly bed and breakfast mountain lodge, where each floor shares one quaint tree stump toilet, and guests can also enjoy the new open-air concept group shower in the lobby. Nelson and Nellie's. Come for the night, yet it feels like a lifetime. Dave?
Group shower. I wonder if they offer room service.
I don't know.
In an effort to compensate for the lost year due to COVID, a newly formed agency, the Society for Extra Days, also known as ACFS, are adding a temporary month to our calendar. Extender will consist of 30 days and will be tucked in between December and January. Would-be parents are encouraged to refrain from having intimate relations 9 months prior to the month of Extender, so as not to add confusion to birthdays like the hugely unpopular Leap Day in February has caused, because this bonus month departs in 14 years, and the world will then return to the 12-month Gregorian calendar.
And that's got to make Grigori very happy, Dave, I'm sure. Thank you for that report. Now, circling back to a story we reported on weeks ago concerning hamster gangs invading the Peppermill Mall, troubled mall spokesperson Megan Marzipan recently spoke with a member of our news team on the condition of automonography, stating the Peppermill Mall is quietly changing their name to Peppermill Commons.
That's right, Steve. Ms. Marzipan continued in confidence, of course, telling us with this hushed name change, they're hoping shoppers and potential tenants will not make the connection that it's the same skanky mall with the same rat infestation in the same hamster gang tent city. Megan also insisted that we not report the name change in our update.
Rest assured, Megan, your privacy is our top priority.
Top priority is right, Steve. Coming up, you're going to want to think twice before kissing frogs.
That's right, Dave. Instead of a royal prince, you might just be crowned with lip warts. Right after this word from Dr. Sherman's homemade hernia detection kits.
Why go to the doctor when you can diagnose yourself? And we're off. Thank you, 60 seconds. Hey, Steve, did you see how many people watched last week's update from our social media platforms?
Dave, you know how I struggle with technology. It's all I can do to rewind my cassette tapes and change the ribbon on my typewriter.
Well, that's not the easiest thing. I want to tell you, it was a record-breaking week for us, Steve. We reached more viewers in one day than the previous report reached in, what, has it been 14 days? Amazing.
That is encouraging. Now, I wonder why that is.
Well, I have a theory. Well, I noticed you didn't speak as much last week.
Oh. Okay. Just so long as folks don't think we're using cheap tactics to get viewers.
Cheap tactics?
Yeah.
We don't use cheap. Well, thank you, 10 seconds.
Yeah, that we'd pull some desperate gimmick, like dressing you up every week just to give a unique screenshot that causes people to like open up the View or whatever that is.
It's the, what do they think? We're gonna like tease them with the idea that you're gonna flash your assless leather chaps or something? And we're back. Sad news to report within our main rep Chamber of Comedy family.
It's true.
Today we say goodbye to one of our own. Our assistant taper, Melvin Hurricane Forkskin, is leaving us.
Now, for those of you unfamiliar with that term, as I was for the first 7 years, a hurricane is a serious weather event that brings rain and wind, causes gas prices to go through the roof, and hair pieces worldwide to challenge even the strongest of scalp glues.
A taper, Steve, is responsible for securing or taping down all the cords and the wires and anything standing up, anything that's hanging loose. The taper, make sure it's taped down. So Melvin's job as the assistant taper to our lead taper, Brittany, was to hand her the tape pre-ripped to the desired length so she could get right to work with the taping.
It's a job I know I couldn't do, Dave.
Just add it to the growing list, Steve.
Okay.
With fairs and carnivals reopening this summer, Melvin is returning to his first love and what he did before joining us here when COVID shut down nearly all outside festivals.
That's right, Dave. Melvin runs a cotton candy and snow cone stand called Melvin's Cotton Candy and Snow Cone Stand. How do you ever come up with a name like that?
Should have been our head writer with that sort of creativity.
I say,
Amen to that.
yes, that is what I was thinking. I could certainly use a taper.
For your mouth.
Well.
Good luck, Melvin, and know that if things don't work out, you'll always have a home here.
Oh, so we're buying Melvin a home. All I got was a stale, stinky summer sausage, but Melvin gets a home. We would show you a picture of our beloved Melvin, but he's quite homely.
Yeah,
and
homely.
we don't want to put you through that. Trust us. Yeah.
Instead, please enjoy this artist rendering.
And now, with another questionable edition of Things I Learned the Hard Way, please don't ask me how. Here's Dave.
Thank you, Steve. When volunteering to be a model at the local community college's arts class, it's best to confirm that it's not a martial arts class. Steve?
Completely nude?
I had the black belt.
I didn't know you had earned a black belt.
I didn't, but the sensei insisted that I wear it. No one was willing to offer me their doji. It's the robe. This just handed to me. Local 13-year-old thanks his parents for dinner and offers to load the dishwasher unprovoked. Dateline, Shiver Me Timbers, Maine. Mr. and Mrs. Bishop confirmed that their son Nathaniel not only finished his chicken dinner, but continued his positive behavior by thanking his mom and offering to load the dishwasher upon dinner's completion. Mr. Bishop tells us he isn't certain if Nathaniel is setting up the surprised happy family for a soon-to-be requested purchase, but what he does know is that after 3 temperature checks, Nathaniel remains fever-free.
Wow.
We'll bring you more on this as we learn more on this. We, of course, wish the Bishop family the very best of luck with this fluid situation.
Absolutely, Dave. On a somewhat related note, Dave, if I may, speaking of fluid situations, we'd like to take this moment to remind everyone during these trying times, please keep hydrated.
Hydration's important, Steve.
Absolutely.
And now with a personal note, here's Steve.
Thank you, Sylvia. The so-called experts tell us our updates should be renamed outdates because we're too old school, not cynical enough. We don't make fun of the right people. We're not hip to the new hate humor being spewed out there by the kids, that my hair is inconsistent, that we dress too nicely, that some of us dress too nicely. I say, if that's all you've got, then lock us up and toss the key, because we are proudly guilty as charged, with apologies to none. In fact, we have 2 words for you. Get over it. When we set out to create these silly little updates, we wanted a place for our viewers to laugh and escape the very elements we're accused of lacking. You see, we believe there's still a place for people like us who enjoy 15 minutes or so of simple mischief with no point of view. And if last week's viewer numbers are any indication, we are not alone. So, we will continue along this path, and it is my feverish hope that anytime anyone spouts the words void, vapid, or mindless, 2 faces, and 2 faces alone, will come to your mind. Dav?
Steve, with that being said, we'd like to take a moment to answer some letters from our viewers. This is from Edna. She's from Lark Lane in the Villages, Florida. Edna writes, "Love your radio show, boys, and Steve, you remind me of my great-grandson, except he has a career and his teeth are more in line with the size of his face."
Was there a question in there at all? No? Thank you, Edna. Okay, this comes to us from Roy. Roy from Del Webb, Florida. Roy asks Dave, "Dear Dave, have you ever had a day where you misplaced your teeth only to find them later in your applesauce?"
Oh, well, Roy, we're out of time. So that's this week's special Chamber of Comedy special, first day of spring update special. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoy whatever this is, please like us on Facebook and tell your friends and family to check us out on mainrep.com. Until next week, I'll remain Dave Hanrahan.
And I can only be Steve Burnett. Remember, when news breaks out, so do we. Thank you.
And good night. That went well, I thought.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, I wanted to ask you, did you get your vaccine yet?
Not yet, but I am too young and far too healthy, so I imagine, of course, you did.
Oh, yeah, well, I got the first one.
To be honest, Dave, I am not all that excited about vaccines, but actually, come to think of it, I am scheduled to get my flu shot later today.
Your flu shot?
Uh-huh.
So what is it about vaccines? Ha. You don't like getting needles in your arm, do you?
My arm?
Now I understand the chaps.
What do the chaps have to do with anything?